Welcome to episode 4 of basically a 4-day Southeast Arizona trip, and I got 2 more coming after this. Yeah, I am really milking this trip, but it was bird packed and adventure packed. So yeah, let's head to one of my favorite places, Box Canyon. It's kind of outside of Madera Canyon. I'm just going to jump in here and admit something. I had set my iPhone to just HD to record a program at the Sax-Zimbalg Welcome Center before Arizona and California trips, and I forgot to set it back to 4K before I went on these trips. So I apologize for this lower resolution cell phone video. I've got a very chill Varied Bunting right above me. I just picked some random wash to walk, and yeah, he's just preening himself, no big deal. So yeah, I'm just gonna walk down the wash a little further, looking for snakes, lizards, and birds like this Varied Bunting. Beautiful. One of the rarest buntings in America. Black-throated sparrows are one of the most attractive and most common desert birds in this part of Arizona. So if it's on your hit list, yeah, don't worry about looking for it. It will find you. You're growing in a harsh place, buddy. Getting hot. I really struggle with my Arizona and Texas shrubs and trees. This one is booming and loaded with butterflies, every single one in this wash. But check out this butterfly. A lot of snouts, a lot of American snouts. Some cool variety, including this lovely little tiny checker spot. Another cool find was this Empress Layla or Lalia. I see it in Texas, South Texas fairly often, but just love this butterfly. Watching carefully where I put my foot. And I'm checking out every little crevice, see if there's a snake snoozing away. Sadly, I didn't find any snakes, but I did find this cool Clark's spiny lizard hanging out in the wash. Hey, this is the kind of graffiti I like. Good message. Hot walk in that wash, but got 2 cool lizards and a bunch of cool butterflies. I found these barrel cactuses, cacti that were in bloom, and you know, most of the other cacti, saguaros and ocotillo, are all done blooming, prickly pear. Yeah, so I had some fun with that as well. Kind of brutal photography conditions. And I found this barrel cactus, but harsh light, tried some fill flash, used the Sony a6500 with the 12mm Rokinon lens. But you kind of have to get your body to shade it to kind of get the colors. Yeah, it's kind of a difficult thing, but how cool is that? But what I ended up doing is just shading it with my body and exposing it for the cactus flowers and letting the background just blow out to white. And I don't know, it turned out pretty cool. maybe an interesting lesson here. Kind of a slow morning, and you kind of get down, and you're like, I had all these big plans, all these things I was going to see, and in your mind it's like amazing, one lifer after another, and then a snake, and then a lizard. So kind of 90 some degrees now, and a little bit bummed, but not terribly. But hey, I'm in Arizona birding and herping, so I decided I'm just going to drive slow, see if I can see anything. I saw this rock and then a little stick leaning up against it, and I thought, could that have been a lizard on a rock? And I stopped and backed up, and sure enough, it was a lizard. Cool one, throat patch of orange. And then I just was creeping around trying to get eye level shots, and the flash when the sun is straight overhead is indispensable for birds or herps. And yeah, got some really cool eye level shots. Okay, get back into the refuge that is the air-conditioned refuge that is the Toyota RAV4. Rough road. So I'm here in the middle of nowhere on this mountain road, Box Canyon Road, listening for the bizarre call of the Buff-collared Nightjar. This would be a lifer for me, and it's been heard pretty much daily up through late July. And now it's the 11th of August, and the detections have gone down, 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 and so it might not be here. I'm gonna see what I can hear. Beautiful night. Turns out I was there way too late in the evening, and you'll see I tried twice more, and I had lots of company on those nights. I tried to identify this to species online, but I can't. If anybody knows of any good resources, let me know in the comments. But I gotta say, it looks a lot like that new species that was discovered in the Chiricahua Mountains in Arizona, I don't know, a few years ago. The black color and the red hairs on the abdomen, but yeah, can't be. Can't be. That's a higher elevation one, and this was lower elevation. I don't know. Let me know if you have any thoughts in the comments. I love these guys. Got our first tarantula of the trip. Here's my hand. Be well, my tarantula friend. We'll leave him in peace now. And then a few minutes later, a young coyote who seems to be all ears came out on the road. Funny, so different than our northern coyotes, which are big-bodied, long-furred, and small-eared. Good luck hunting tonight, my friend. You know, I've driven this road many times, and I always think, I wish there was something sitting on that tree. What a beautiful perch. Never is. Despite the rainy and gray conditions, had to get out and went back to Box Canyon and made a very cool discovery. Yeah, a couple thick-billed kingbirds with a nest, and you know, if I followed eBird more closely, it was probably already on eBird, but I was happy that I found it on my own. This is a bird that's becoming more common, and you can see it is very range restricted in the continental US of A. So always a thrill to see this personality plus bird. It's pretty exciting. Found a thick-billed kingbird nest right along the road. I was videoing some interesting behavior of these thick-billed kingbirds. The adults would get very animated when one of them came in with a beak full of food. It was kind of cute. You used to have to go to the Patagonia Wayside Rest, you know, the picnic table, the famous picnic table, to see a thick-billed kingbird. In fact, it's in one of my videos from a few years ago. But evidently now you don't. Oh, I hope the parents make a trip back to the nest before this thunderstorm hits, monsoon hits. Be some fun video. Always fun when you find your own stuff. This is the same stretch where I had a Cooper's hawk nest that I found a few years ago. Mom or Dad came. Oh, here comes the other adult. Hold on. There's a hooded oriole right over there too. A pair, looks like. Golly, it's an embarrassment of riches right now. What would have made this whole situation even better is if National Geographic or BBC had contacted me for some video of a baby thick-billed kingbird coughing up a pellet. Ugh, there it was, the money shot. Just in case the parents were nervous, I set up the tripod and turned it on. Came back to the car to just sit it out. I don't think they're that nervous, but they're kingbirds. They're pretty gregarious. But they're sure not letting anybody else nearby this tree. Finally, Mom or Dad, one of them, came down and fed the babies, stuffing bugs down their throat. But yeah, going back to the baby throwing up that pellet, they just can't digest the exoskeletons and the elytra beetles, you know, the indigestible parts of insects, and so they cough them up. And even hummingbirds cough up pellets from insects they eat, so not just owls. While hanging out with the kingbird family, these three birders sauntered up. Yeah, always awesome to meet young birders. All three are students at University of Colorado, Fort Collins in wildlife conservation. Yeah, Finn from Minnesota on the left there. A fellow Northlander, yeah, don't you know. Then Simon in the middle and Henry. Yeah, really nice meeting you guys. And we hung out a few more evenings listening for the Buff-collared Nightjar as well. The next day I swung by the nest tree just to check it out. And one of the young had fledged, and one was, yeah, having a little failure to launch moment, still hanging out, enjoying life, being fed by Mom and Dad. So good luck, buddy. You gotta fly the nest soon. I have a real fondness for Box Canyon. Had just an unbelievable day a few years ago with Five-striped Sparrow and Varied Buntings and Lucifer hummingbird. And it's just a gorgeous, 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 that's three gorgeouses. Well, it was getting towards sunset, and yeah, the only place to be is the bridge over the wash in Box Canyon. Yeah, gotta listen for that Buff-collared Nightjar again, and the gang's all here from left to right. We got Alex and Connor of Texas A&M. Then we got Simon and Henry and Finn, University of Colorado, Fort Collins. And then on the right, William from New Mexico. Yeah, great bunch of guys. But once again, no luck on the Nightjar.
Like at sunset, actually, just about like this. Last year there was one.
Oh, you can go in. I'm just waiting for another lightning strike. Oh, there we go. Ooh, look at that. So I gave up on the nightjar. That storm was coming over into the canyon, and I'm not a big fan of the lightning. So I'm in this birding thing for the long game. It'll be another chance for buff-collared nightjar. So I thought I'll look for snakes. Lightning all around, but I got a treat here. A black-tailed rattlesnake. Oh, a beauty, just a beauty. I don't know if you can see it, but it's in my light. Woohoo! That was a good one. That is a beautiful snake. You know, they can only strike half their body length. I give them plenty of room. I don't move them with a stick or anything like that. Just want to get some photos. Good luck, buddy. A few lesser nighthawks. I'd love to see one sitting on the road. Maybe I could get some photos. It is all dust is blowing straight down the road. Lightning all around. It is monsoon season. The reason you always drive with your windows down when birding, no matter how hot or cold it is that you just might hear a familiar song of a really good bird. Five-striped Sparrow. Oh, he sang right over me. Five-striped Sparrow. I was just driving by and I'm like, I remember that song from 3 years ago. Same, well, about another quarter mile up the canyon, but one of the most beautiful sparrows. Let's try and get some video, okay? Not in a good spot right now. He's backlit, but I gotta move my car. I just love this sparrow. It's not only good looking, but it just oozes confidence. I don't know. He doesn't care if you're standing a few feet away. He's just going to sing. Even rare in Mexico, so just a treat to see it in the U.S. According to birdsoftheworld.org, which if you don't have a subscription, you really should get one and just pour over it. The Five-striped Sparrow has over 200 different variations of its song, and I'm going to play about, I don't know, 8 or 9 different clips here, and you can listen for the variations. It's pretty fascinating. Oh man, he flew. No tape, no playback. He flew right down to a beautiful perch on one of these acatillos. You know, the background far enough away so you get really nice blurred out, beautiful bokeh background. And I put the 2X on, so I had 1,000 millimeters. And then the first photos I took, I forgot I had put it to that crop mode, 1.6 crop mode, which is 1600. But that's just cropping the center of the sensor, so I put it back out to the regular setting. I sometimes do 1.6 if it's a distant bird. I'm just trying to get an ID, but otherwise it's same as you can just crop it at home. Sometimes it does give you a little better bokeh in certain situations. I will give it that. It's just not quite as sharp. Remember that hooded oriole from yesterday? Well, it had a nest in the same tree as the nest of the thick-billed kingbirds. So by this time it got pretty windy, so the video was very shaky. I couldn't bring my $10,000 super stable tripod with on this trip, and I guess the main reason for that is I don't have one. But it I did get a few clips of the male and the female coming in and feeding young, and there she is. She's taking out the feces, the fecal sac. Yeah, that's exciting. Have you guys seen a buff-collared nightjar? Oh, you're a bull. See ya. One more night listening for the buff-collared nightjar. Don't get it, no big deal. You know, gotta leave something on the table for next trip. And once again, the gang was all there, and once again, did not hear it. Superstar bird of this episode, I'm giving it to the thick-billed kingbird family. It was fun spending time with them. All right, we'll see you in episode 5 from Los Cienegos and Patton's Hummingbird Center.